everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a macrame bracelet today. I really enjoy macrame. Uh, this is a necklace that I made some time back doing macrame. I used some 6mm fire polish beads and some 4mm beads on either side and some macrame knotting in between. And I did a button and loop closure for the end of this one. Today, I have my macrame board. You don't have to have a macrame board. You can use, I've seen people use clipboards. You can suspend it between, like over a laundry basket, like a deep dish tray. You can use that. There's lots of different ways. You don't have to have a macrame board. I have this stand, and this is, I worked for the court system for 28 years, and back in the old days, before computers were common in the office and the home, we had to type on typewriters. And for instance, when the judge wanted to draw up an order, he would write it out in longhand, and I would stand it up on this to look at it, to type it on the typewriter. I use this because it's hard for me to lay it flat. It hurts my back, and if I stand it up like this, it helps a little. That's why I can't use like a deep dish tray or anything. It just hurts my back too much. But you don't have to have a macrame board. I've got some 6mm faceted coffee fire agate gemstone beads. I have some findings here. I have a lobster clasp, and I have an 8mm jump ring for the lobster clasp to clasp onto. I have some 6mm jump rings, an extender chain, and a couple of clamshell tips. I have a couple of T-pins here. For my center cord, I'm going to use some, this is waxed Brazilian cord. It's called Knotted cord. And I know this card looks terrible. Please don't judge me. But I like to use, but you can use anything. You can even use bead string wire if you want to use it down the center. I like to use as thick a thread as I can, the only thing about the center cord is you have to make sure your beads can fit on it. And they can. I've already tested this. I know these will fit on here. And I like to use as thick a cord as I can because it kind of holds the beads better when you're trying to knot. But you can use anything. Like I said, you can even use bead string and wire down the center if you want to. And you can use more than one cord down the center. If you have a thin cord that you want to use, you know, that will go through your beads. Both cords will go through your beads. You can do that too. I've got some S-line that I'm going to use for knotting, for my knotting cord. I have a thread zap too, and it looks terrible too. It's well loved. I use this a lot when I do bead weaving to cut off my fire line, to burn off my fire line. And I'm going to use it because this nylon cord, at the end, it will melt it. It will melt, and it kind of helps the knots from coming loose at the end. If you use it for both bead weaving and macrame, you might want to have a different one for each, because, or you can get these little replacement tips and you might switch them out, because if you use it to burn down the like the S-line, it can kind of get gunky at the end there. I have my GS Hypo cement. I have my tweezer pliers because I can't seem to do anything without my tweezer pliers. I have some scissors to cut my cord with. I have a beading awl because I'm going to have to make a knot at the end. I think that's all as far as tools. Let's see. So I'm going to take what I'm going to use for my center cord, and I'm going to take one of my clamshell tips. And I'm just going to I'm going to put the cord through, there's a hole there in the clamshell tip, through this end. I'm going to put the cord through this end. And I'm just going to make an overhand knot. Oh, I don't think I said how much of this. I've got this is probably about 30 inches for my center cord. I'm not going to need nearly that much, but I always overdo it. And I cut off, I think I've got probably about 7 feet of the S-line. And that's going to be probably way too much too, but the knots do take up a lot of room a lot of cord, and I don't want to run out, so I've got a lot of that. So I've made an overhand knot, and that's going to keep my cord from going through my clamshell tip. I'm gonna put a little bit of GS Hypo cement. It's probably not necessary, but I'm gonna do that. And it looks awful too. Please don't judge me. I've glued this thing. The lid has gotten glued to this so much that my little thing that goes down in the glue is bent. I don't know if you can see that. It's hard enough to get this closed, and now I'm up with the little thing bent. It makes it easier, and this stuff will not stop coming out. Okay. And I'm going to cut off the extra thread there. And now I'm going to take my tweezer pliers and close my clamshell. And you want to be kind of gentle when you do this, because you don't want to, you can easily destroy these little clamshell tips if you're too rough with them. So I got a little piece of thread sticking out there. I'm going to use my thread burner and burn that off. Okay. My husband he freaks out when I use that thread burner. I think he thinks I'm going to burn down the house with it. I hope I don't. Okay, I'm going to get that closed. Okay, now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it on my macrame board. I'm going to I could put it through the notch up there, but I like to put it here so that I can see, because there are measurements on the macrame board. You can tell how far along you are. So I'm going to put it right here with a T-pin. I'm going to anchor it down with a T-pin. And then I'm going to take the other side, the other end, and I'm going to go through a notch here at the bottom. Well, no, I'm not going to do that yet. I've got to thread on my beads first. Okay. I'm going to thread on some beads. And it's not going to take nearly all these beads. I just had all these. I'm going to start threading on some beads here. If you have a hard time getting your thread through there, you can cut your thread at an angle, and it helps. This is waxed, so I shouldn't have any trouble getting it through there. If you do, you can take some fingernail polish and put it on the end and stiffen it up, or some glue and make the end stiff so that it'll go through there. I don't think it's going to be any trouble with these. I hope I'm not overloading y'all with videos. I'm afraid I'm not going to have much time to do anything in the next few weeks. Like I said, I'm retired, but I have a little job that I do on the side from home to make some extra money. My husband hasn't been able to work for several years, and it's kind of hard to get by on one retirement check, especially these days with the way prices are. So, and the little job I do on the side, it's cyclical, and just certain times of the year are busy, and the next few weeks are going to be that time of the year, and it's going to be really busy. So I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to get much like this done. I feel fortunate that to have found a little part-time job that I can do from home to help with things. I can't really get out and work anymore, so I was lucky to find a job like that. I really appreciate all of you who have watched my videos and commented. It's really been been a lot of fun to read all the comments. I love to read the comments and get such positive responses from you all. I know I've said it many times in past videos, but I seriously never expected to be doing anything like this. But I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with it, and it's because you all have been so nice to me. So I'm got a few beads on there now. I don't know if I might need more than that. I'm not sure, but we'll see. We can always add more. Now I'm going to put my thread through this notch down here, and I'm going to put it through back and forth through several notches because that helps to keep it good and tight while I'm working with it. Okay, now I'm going to take my S-line, and I'm going to find this. I'm going to double it up. I'm going to make both ends meet here. Find the center. And I'm going to put the center under my, what I'm using for my center cord, that I'm holding my beads on with. And I want to have the same amount of thread on, or same amount of S-line on each side. I don't know where my tape went. I usually tape this down here to just for a minute until I get my first knot made so that I don't lose my center. See if I can get a T-pin through there, through that thread. Yeah, that worked. Okay. Now I'm gonna make a square knot. The square knot is my favorite knot in macrame. I'm gonna make, let's see, let me just zoom. Get a little closer here. Okay. Zoom in a little. Hold on, let me reposition the camera. Okay, I don't know what happened. My phone just decided it wanted to quit work for the day, I guess. Because I had several knots made here and realized that I was not recording any longer. So I've got a few knots made here and I'm gonna do it again. I wanted to make a few before I started with the beads anyway. We take our cord and make a loop here that looks like a P. And I take this cord and I go over this cord, under my center cord, through the loop of the P, pull the cord all the way through, and tighten. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side, but I'm going to make a Q. And I'm going to hold it there, take this cord, go over this cord, go under the center cord, through the loop, and pull and tighten. And I've made 3 square knots, and I'm going to show you how you can tell if you happen to have to get up and leave your work for a minute and you get back and you don't remember which side to start on, because you want to alternate to make the square knot. Make one on this side, one on this side. You can do it all on the same side, but if you do, it's going to twist, and that makes a really pretty effect, but that's not what I'm going for today. So let me zoom in and see if I can show you here. There's these little notches on the side. If you count them, you can see that there's 1, 2, 3. So you know you've made 3 square knots. The side that the little notch there is on is the side that you're going to do next. I need to make my next one on this side. You can also look that like this thread is coming out the top and this thread is coming out the bottom. It's always the one where the thread is coming out the bottom where you want to go next. But the little notches are the easiest way for me. It's you just count. You just look at if the little notch is on this side, this is the side you need to do next. So I'm going to make, I've got 3 there. I'm going to make maybe 5 before I start with my beads. So I'm going to do, let me zoom back out again here now. I'm going to make the P, and hold it, take this cord, go over this cord, under the center cord, up through the loop of the P. Well, I dropped it. Let's do that over. Make the P, take the cord on this side, go over this cord, under the center cord, through the loop of the P, pull the cord through, and tighten. Now make a Q, take this cord, go over this cord, under the center cord. I find it easier if I make a loop with this cord. For some reason it just makes it easier. Go through the Q, pull the cord all the way through, and tighten. And that's 4 square knots, and I'm going to make one more. I'm going to do a P. I'm going to go over this cord, under the center cord, through the loop of the P, pull the thread all the way through, and tighten. And I'm going to make a Q. Take this cord, go over this cord and the center cord, under the center cord, through the Q, and tighten. So that's 5 square knots. Now I'm going to push these up to my clamshell tip. I might have should have done that before I made 5, but it'll go up there. Okay, now let me zoom back out. I'm going to have to, hold on a second, I'm going to reposition. Okay, now I'm going to push one of my beads up. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make a P. I'm going to take this cord, go over this cord, go under my center cord, grab this cord, pull it through, and tighten. That's half of my square knot. Now I'm going to make a Q. I'm going to go over this cord, under the center cord, through the loop of the Q, pull all the way through, and tighten. And now I'm going to do that again. I think I'm going to make about 3 between each bead. You can do as many as you want or as few as you want. I'm going to make a P. I'm going to go over this cord, under the center cord, through the loop of the P, pull it all the way through, and tighten. Then I'm going to make the other half of my second square knot. I'm going to go over this cord, under the center cord, go through the loop of the Q, and tighten. And that's 2 square knots. Now I'm going to make a third. I'm going to go make a P, go over this cord, under the center cord, through the loop, and tighten. Now I'm going to make the Q. I'm going to go over this cord, under the center cord, through the loop, and tighten. I'm going to bring my next bead up. Now I'm going to make a P, over the cord, under the center cord, through the loop of the P, pull it all the way through, and if your bead falls down like that, that's okay. You've already got it captured. You just pull it up when you tighten, it'll pull up. Make a Q over this cord, under the center cord, through the loop of the Q, and tighten. It's 1 square knot. Now I'm going to make a second square knot. Do the P over the cord, through the center cord, through the loop. I can get a hold of it and tighten. Now I'm going to make a Q. I'm going to go over the cord, under the center cord, through the loop of the Q, and tighten. I'm going to make one more. Make a P, go over the cord, under the center cord. Well, start over. Make a P, over the cord, under the center cord, through the loop, tighten, make a Q, over the cord, under the center cord, through the loop, and tighten. I'm going to bring up my next bead. I'm going to make a P, go over the cord, under the center cord, well, he fell down on me too early that time. I'm going to make a P. Now get back up there. Behave. We've got company. Quit showing out. Get back up there. Sometimes I'm forced to lay this down even though I don't want to because that happens. Gravity messes with me. Okay. Make a P. Get up there now. Stay up there. Go over the cord. Under the cord. Get back up there. Through the loop. Capture that ornery bead. Tightened. Make a Q. Go over the cord, under the center cord, through the loop, tighten. It's one square knot. Make a P, over the cord, under the cord, through the loop, tighten. Make a Q, over the cord, under the cord, through the loop, tighten. Make a third square knot, over the cord, over this cord, under the center cord, through the loop, tighten. Make a Q, over the cord, under the center cord, through the loop, tighten, and that is 3 square knots. And now I'm going to do my next bead. I'm going to do probably about 6 till I get down here to the 6-inch mark, and then once I add my clasp and my clamshell and everything, that'll make it probably 7.5 inches or so. I might stop at 5.5 because I'm going to add an extender chain. But I'll be back when I get close to the end. Okay, I've got down to 5.5 inches. I'm going to do one more bead and 3 more knots, and then I'm going to finish it off. Reposition here a little bit. Push it back a little. Okay. So I'm going to do my P. Come. Well, they've been doing good. They get on camera and they have to show out. Okay, I'm going to go over this thread, under the middle, or the center cord. Pull my thread through the loop. Pull it up and tighten. Make my Q. Go over this thread, under the center thread, through the loop of the Q, tighten, so make my P over under the center cord through the P, tighten, make the Q under the cord, over this cord, under the center cord, through the loop of the Q, tighten. I just need one more. Okay, now before I do this last one, I'm going to take my glue and put a little bit of glue on that center cord. I actually meant to do that for the last couple and I forgot. But it'll be alright, just on one, I think. I can never get this thing back in this glue closed up. Alright, I'm just going to leave it because I'm going to use it again here in a minute anyway. Okay, now I'm going to make my P over under the center cord, through the loop, tighten, the Q over this cord, under the center cord, through the loop, tighten. Okay, now let me take this off here and I'll be back. Okay, I realized I needed to do a total of 5 knots instead of 3 because I started off with 5 knots and I want to start off and end the same way. So I'm going to put, let's see, let me lower this a little. I'm going to put a little bit of glue that's still open because I couldn't get it closed on my center cord. And I'm going to do a P. Take my left cord, go over this cord, under the middle cord, through the loop, and tighten. Make a Q, go over this cord, under this cord, through the loop, tighten. I'm going to do a little bit more glue on the center cord. Make the P over this cord, under the center cord, through the loop, tighten, make the Q, over the cord, under the cord, through the loop, and tighten. Now I got 5 knots. So let me take all this off here and I'll be back. I think I'm just going to have to fire my camera because he keeps quitting on me. So this is what I've got. You'll notice through the magic of television that my clamshell tip has turned to bronze. I realized I didn't know what I was thinking with silver findings with these color beads and thread. I think what it was, I started out with different color beads and thread and it was hard to see, so I switched them out for these and I didn't switch out my findings. So all I did was I just took it all apart and went back and did it over and used the bronze findings. And while my camera, I thought I was recording, but apparently I was not, I cut off each side of my S-line and I burned this side down with my thread burner, and now I'm going to burn this side down so you can see it, and I thought you already did the first time I did it. So I'm just going to take my thread burner and just burn that down a little till it gets down there. So that kind of seals it, so that knot's not going to come apart, especially with the glue I put in there. Now I'm going to take, I got way more of this than I need to. So I'm going to take my other clamshell tip and I'm going to put it through the hole like I did before. Bring it all the way down. I'm going to make a knot, overhanded knot. Now I'm going to take my beading awl and put it in here and pull my knot down so that I can guide my knot and get it right down in there in that inside of that clamshell tip. It's kind of hard with this waxed thread. It wants to knot before I'm ready for it to knot. I just about to say, as long as I don't lose my beading all out of there. And what did I just do? I lost my beading all out of there. Okay, there we go. Now I got that down in there. Okay. Now I shouldn't have closed up my glue because I'm going to put a little glue on this knot too. And then I'll have a time getting it back in there, but put a little bit of glue on that. Probably not necessary, but I like to be extra careful. If I can close this back up again. Okay. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to cut this off. Now I'm going to close up my clamshell. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to attach my findings, and while I was looking for bronze findings, I just couldn't help myself. I found a little bronze owl and a little bronze tree, and I just have to have dangles. I don't know what it is, so I'm going to try to do that. This little owl was already wrapped. I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to take an eye pin, and I'm going to open the eye pin. Wait, let me zoom back out some. I'm going to open my eye pin. I'm going to thread on my little tree. Close my eye pin. And I'm going to take one of my little agate beads and put it on there. And take my pliers. I'm just going to make a simple loop here. Take my pliers, leave a little bit of space so I don't crack my bead. Bend my pliers over. Take my cutters. Leave about, I think that's probably about between a half an inch and between a quarter inch and a half an inch probably. Cut that off. Take my round nose pliers. Make a loop. sure it's closed really well. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my 6mm jump ring, my lobster, and open my jump ring. I don't know if it'll go through this little clamshell. I might have to get a not such a thick jump ring. These jump rings are really thick. I don't know if they'll go through there. I don't think it's going to. Oh wait, yeah, there went. Okay. Now put my lobster on. I think I'll put my dangles up here too. So let's see what how this hangs. Little owl's not hanging the way I want him to. I think I'll put a 4mm jump ring on him to make him hang straighter. Oops, hit the camera. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Trying to get a little jump ring out here. Okay. I'm telling you, since I trimmed and filed these nails down, I got it under control now. I'm liable to be rocking some painted nails one of these days. Y'all never know. I'm liable to have glitter and all kinds of stuff now that I've figured out how to file them down. I'm going to take my little owl back off of here. I can find the slit in this thing. Well, there it is. I didn't have it closed up really well anyway. I'm going to have to take my owl off. That's what I wanted to do. Take my 4mm jump ring. Put my little owl on. I could have closed that jump ring up. I thought I was leaving it open for a reason, but I didn't need to do that. Okay. Just take everything off. Put everything back on. Lobster. This guy. Close it up. Run my finger over it to make sure it's closed up well and meets. Okay, now I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring. A little owl. And put him on there. Well, this ain't got nothing to do with the nails today. This is just me being all thumbs. Plus, I like my other round nose pliers. My other bent nose pliers for this. Well, fiddlesticks. I like my other bent nose pliers for this, and I don't know what I've done with them. They're right here somewhere. I know they are, but I don't know where. I'll find them as soon as I get done doing this. Okay, there we go. Now, yeah, I like the way that hangs better. And now I'm going to take this end, take a 4mm jump ring, and the jump ring that I'm going to use for my lobster to clasp onto, and open him up and hope he fits through this little clamshell tip. The other one did. He should. Because they're the same gauge. Oh yeah, there we go. And put the big one on. Close it up. Now I'm going to take the big one and open it up and put my extender chain on. This is about 2 inches of extender chain. Okay. And there we have a little macrame gemstone bracelet. Oh, there it is, all done. So, as usual, thank you all so much for joining me today. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook and Instagram. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched the videos I've made and the comments. I really enjoy reading your comments. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope you all have a great day. Take care. Bye.